Hello everyone, my name is mariuszgajdzik and on this channel we talk about filmmaking, photography and everything around it. Last time we spoke about the things you're gonna need to start being filmmaker, and one of them was software for editing, and today we're gonna cover that subject. And I could make a video that is 2 hours long and tell you about all the software that I know, that I heard of, but I don't want to waste your time and I just want to tell you about the software that really matters in the filmmaking world and the software you should invest your time in. And I'm gonna give you 3 pieces of software that you should try and 3 pieces of software that you're gonna be able to make a living off of, because this is what the professionals use in a real life. So hopefully if you learn one of those or all of those, you're gonna be able to find work and earn money. And that's my goal here. I wanna give you what's best and what you should really invest your time in. Not all the software, because I've seen so many videos on YouTube about it and I think it's a waste of time. So let's start with the first one, and it's an obvious choice because it's Premiere Pro. And it's one of the most popular choices, almost anyone uses it. So there's a lot of tutorials, a lot of assets, a lot of motion graphics, a lot of everything for Premiere Pro. So this is gonna be very good thing to know if you want to start with the Premiere Pro. You're gonna be able to find any effects, any tutorials for effects, any LUTs or everything that you might think of. You're gonna be able to find that for Premiere Pro because it's the most popular one and there's a lot of tutorials and a lot of assets out there for it. So that's the first thing that you want to consider if you want like these assets, if you want these tutorials to be more accessible to you. You could choose the Premiere Pro. And the other thing is that this is probably used by the most filmmakers too. Most of the filmmakers edit their videos on Premiere Pro because they can collaborate with others, they can give their project to somebody else to edit, or they can take on the project from somebody else to edit, because this software is really used in the filmmaking world. So if you want to find the most jobs in filmmaking and editing films, it's probably going to be in Premiere Pro because this is the software of choice of many filmmakers. So consider that when you're making your choice. The very interesting thing is the fact that it's part of Adobe Creative Cloud, so you're gonna be able to use it with all the other software from Adobe and it's gonna work like an ecosystem. So if you drop a file from say After Effects or Photoshop to your Premiere Pro project and you update it in the software you made it, it's gonna automatically link it and it's gonna update in Premiere Pro in your project too. So this is really nice. The dynamic link, it's called. It's a really cool thing that you're not gonna able to find in any other software I'm gonna talk about. So if you work a lot with motion graphics, if you work a lot with audition projects, or let's say Illustrator projects, and you use them in your films and you want to be able to really easily link it and update it in the Illustrator, this is going to be very useful, and it's really good benefit of using the Adobe ecosystem. The minus of the Adobe ecosystem or Adobe Premiere Pro is the price. You have to pay by subscription model. You cannot buy it outright. You cannot just pay one price like with the other ones. You need to pay every month, and in Europe it's 25 euros for just the Premiere Pro, which I don't think it's a good price, and I think it's much better to get the entire Creative Cloud, and it's 65 euros. Yes, it is quite a lot to pay 65 euros every month, because you need to pay every month, or 25 euros every month because you need to pay every month. But if you want to get into it and if you want to really make money out of it, and if you want to work and be an editor and make money out of filmmaking, it's not going to be that much because you're going to earn way more, because this is what the earnings are in filmmaking industry. It seems like a lot of money, but in the long run it won't be that much money, and you're gonna find out how much you're gonna be able to earn from just the editing of films of other people, or making your own films and editing them as well. But the minus here is the subscription model. because you need to pay every month and you cannot just pay one time and have the software for yourself like with the other softwares I will be talking about. And the second one is the Final Cut Pro, and it's Mac only. This is gonna be the best software for Mac because it's only made for Mac, only made by Apple for Apple computers, so it's gonna be the most optimized for Mac computers. It's gonna work the best on Mac computers and especially on the M1 Macs. So good. I haven't tried it, but I've seen some benchmarks. I've seen how people using it, and it's so fast. And it's also was clutch for me when I was using it to work on a 2013 laptop. When I used Premiere Pro, it wasn't working at all. I couldn't edit even full HD, and here I was able to use 4K footage and edit on 2013 laptop, and it wasn't even high-spec laptop, so it's really optimized for Macs, and it's really good when you don't have a good equipment like the most recent equipment. I was editing on 2013 13-inch MacBook Pro. That was like one of the bottom like in terms of specs. It was still working and it was really good, so that was a really good plus of Final Cut. And it's also nice because if you did anything on iMovie, you're gonna be able to jump right into the Final Cut. It's a really similar interface, and it's like a natural step from iMovie to Final Cut, because this is Apple Mac based software, and in Final Cut you're gonna have a lot more options than in iMovie, so like masking, color grading, etc, like everything that you're really gonna need as a filmmaker or editor to make your films or somebody else's films. And here the plus is the price, and maybe not the price but the fact you're gonna pay it once. And the price is about 300 euros, and you pay it once. You don't need to subscribe to this, and you don't need to pay every month and worry about paying every month. You just pay it once, 300 euros, and you have the software outright. You don't need to worry about anything, and you can use it until you want to use it. Obviously you can get a free trial to try it first, but you can pay $300 and don't worry anymore that you need to pay anything else for the software you're using. And it works very well on the Mac, and it works very well with Apple codecs like ProRes and everything like that, so it's a good choice for that reasons. And the third choice, and it's my choice as well, is Davinci Resolve, which I switched to from Premiere Pro recently because I tried it and I really liked it. And what I like about it the most is that you really can use just the free version to do most of the work, like 95 to 99% of the work you would do in Premiere Pro. And I really love that about it. I use it almost exclusively lately, and I'm using the free version still because I still have a subscription for the Premiere Pro, but I'm probably gonna be upgrading to the paid version too, which gives you extra things like denoising or the flickering, which are paid plugins for Premiere Pro or Final Cut. So you need to pay for the Premiere Pro or Final Cut, and then you need to pay extra for the flicker or the denoising or sharpening and that kind of stuff. Here, if you pay 300 euros, which is same as the Final Cut, you get this extra thing. But the free version is the main thing that I wanna communicate to you. If you want to start right now, start editing films right now, you should get the Davinci Resolve because it's free. That's the best argument, isn't it? It's free. You don't need to pay anything to start, and I really love it, and I wish I did it when I was starting, and I didn't because I went to Premiere Pro because everybody else was using Premiere Pro back then. But since the Davinci Resolve 16 and 17 came out, they gave us a lot of more options when it comes to editing videos, because firstly it was more like a color grading tool. People start to use it more as an editing tool too, because before you had to export your file from Premiere Pro or Final Cut to Davinci and then finish the coloring here and export it here, or get it back to Final Cut Pro or Premiere. But it's a hassle and it's extra time, and since we can do almost anything that we could do in Premiere Pro or in Final Cut in Davinci right now, why even have that hassle if we can do it all in Davinci Resolve? That's why I swapped. I still use Premiere Pro and Final Cut sometimes when I need to, but if I have a choice, I just use Davinci Resolve and I edit, I do my color grading, I do my motion graphics, and I do my audio all in Davinci Resolve. You also have Fusion, which is somewhat like Adobe After Effects, but I still didn't figure it out because it's a little bit different. You work on nodes, not on layers, so it's a little bit of a switch. And you also have Fairlight for audio, and it's pretty much like Audition from Adobe, and it's all built in the free version, and it's even better in the studio version, which you pay 300 euros for. So you really get a lot for free, and if you pay more you get even more, so it's a no-brainer, and it's a best choice if somebody's just starting, in my opinion. And it lets you pretty much do anything you would do in Premiere Pro, anything you would do Final Cut, and it has much better coloring tools. You can do like crazy things with coloring in Davinci Resolve. It's really crazy, and it gives you a lot of ability to develop yourself as a colorist or as an editor, and like just use this one software, and I really like that. And there's like all these panels for it as well, where you can just color grade on a panel or edit on a panel. It seems really pro, and I really like that. And I really noticed since I switched to Davinci Resolve as well, the colors that come out from this camera, from my Sony a7R II, from 8-bit S-Log, come out much better. There is no this weird banding, there is no weird artifacts. It just processes the color much nicer, and that's mostly why I made the switch. And it also doesn't have this weird gamma change when it comes to export. You basically export in Rec 709, but you also edit in Rec 709, so you see what you will export. And it's so nice, and I really love it, because I was fighting with this with Premiere Pro for so long. I don't know why they didn't fix it yet. I really don't. And that's what was making me go crazy with Premiere Pro and the errors with Premiere Pro. That's why I switched to Davinci Resolve. And if I would be recommending one piece of software for this moment to anybody, it would be Davinci Resolve, because it's free. You don't need to pay anything to start, and you can start right away. You can just go to the website, download it, and start. And you can do projects up to 4K, so what else would you need if you're just starting? And if you need anything extra, you can just pay 300 euros and you have it, and you don't need to worry about paying every month 25 euros or 65 euros. If you can pay once, 300 euros. But I'm still gonna be using the Final Cut Pro and Premiere Pro, because a lot of people work on it, as I mentioned before, and it's good to know all three pieces of software I just mentioned. This is what people work on, this is what you will get the projects on, and this is what you should invest your time in. You can obviously learn the basics on other software, but why would you do that if you can just learn it from the beginning in the pieces of software you're gonna be using as a professional? This is very important in my opinion, and this is why I only recommend those free tools to you. I also recommend you to try all three of them and then decide. But if you just want to start, and if you just want to use one of them and you don't want to spend money, Davinci Resolve is the obvious choice. So I think this is it for this video. I hope you got some useful information for yourself, and hopefully now you know what editing software you should use. And I'll hope I will see you in the next one. Bye!